Welcome guys, this is the second video I'm going to be making on my YouTube channel, and I hope you get a ton of value from this. And today I'm going to be talking about how to get your first client. It's quite easy. A lot of people overcomplicate it, but the idea is that you want to get started as soon as possible because it can take time, and you want to perfect your skills as soon as you possibly can. So let me just share my screen with you and we'll get straight into this because like I said, I don't like to waste time. I want to give you as much information as possible. So the first way that you can get your clients, and I'm going to list a number of ways. I'll tell you my favorite one at the end, which is getting me the most clients. I'm going to go from order of, completely free or as little cost to the ones that are going to cost you quite a bit. So the first one, which is amazing, is cold calling. So this is something I do every single day. I can't spell for some reason. So cold calling, this is the number one thing that you should be doing, because what it does is it improves your skills as well. So over time, you'll be able to sell even on the actual sales calls. You'll actually be able to sell your lead even better. Right. So how do you do cold calling? Well, it's quite simple. Don't try to overcomplicate it. The idea is when you do cold call, to be completely transparent, especially about your offer, because the other person on the call, you don't want to be wasting their time. If you know you can provide value, right? Which with the services that we're offering, we're 100% providing value. So if you know you can provide value, then you just cut straight to the chase. So in order to get a list of people that you can call, the first thing you need to be doing is going on to Fiverr. Don't try to do this yourself. Just it saves so much time. So for example, go to Fiverr. There's a bunch of people selling or scraping leads for you, and it costs literally about $15. So what I did was I scraped about 20,000 leads, right? 20,000 Google businesses, Google My Business businesses, and that will last you for so long. So for example, if you're making 30 calls every single day, right, you can imagine that's going to last you a very long time. So all you need to be doing is making around 30 calls every single day at the minimum, because you need to get through to at least 2 to 3 people on the minimum side. The more you can do, the better, because like I said, the conversion rate is very low. And what you should be doing on these cold calls is trying to book them in to a separate call, which is a video call, most likely Google Meet or Zoom. So I'm going to give you an example of how you can essentially cold call. Now, let's say there's a business, a local roofing business. It's owned by John. This is how it would go. Hello, John. Is this John's Roofing? I don't know his name. Let's pretend I don't know his name. Hello, is this John's Roofing? They'll say yes or no. If they say yes, then you just say, hey mate, have you got about 30 seconds? I promise I'll be quick. I don't want to waste your time because I know you're probably busy. Wait for them to say yes or no. If they say no, then say, can we reschedule later when you are available? If they say yes, then tell them about your pitch. So for example, the number one thing that I tell everyone that's a beginner to start off with in order to get, leads or clients, is to offer your services for free. One, because it improves your skills, not only for delivering your services, but also learning about how to close them on sales, and also, the client trusting you. And if they trust you, what will happen is that they'll become your long-term customer. So offer something for free, right, on the call. Once you offer something for free, then what you can do is, it can be like a 1 month trial or 2 weeks trial or whatever. I like to do something short because I can get results really fast. And if you can do that, then they'll be willing to pay, especially if they see results within the first week, which is what I pretty much get every single time. So I offer something for free, and then I charge for my services. Now I'm going to do a separate video about what sort of prices you should be charging. I did one before, if you want to have a look at that. But again, I'm going to be doing a series of different ones so that you get a better understanding. So this is the first thing you should be doing. This is one of my favorite ways to get clients. Right, the next thing is and you guys probably already heard of this, SMS. So the reason why I said to get that list off of Fiverr is quite simple. So you've already scraped the list, the 20,000, right? You're not going to be able to call all of them, right? So you spent about $15 to acquire 20,000 potential leads, right? What you can do is set up automations within Go High Level, and if you want to sign up for Go High Level, link is in the description. You get 14 days free trial, and then you can pretty much cancel. There are of course fees for sending SMS, but this is another way to essentially get clients. Now, with SMS, it's a bit different. And I'll tell you why. SMS is very hard to get clients from unless you have like a proven system that you've tested over time. So what I like to do is I will have an automation set up, and let's say it starts here. From here, I will have four different initial messages that go out to all the different numbers through something called a drip mode. And this basically drips 100 messages a day to all of the leads that I've scraped. So all of these initial four messages are completely different from one another. They have different beginnings. So let me give you an example. You'll say, hey, this is, and this works really well. So you can say, hey, this is Karen. Hey, this is Karen. We work with local contractors to help them keep their calendars full. Are you the business owner? And once they respond, you call them straight away, right? Because now we've got their attention. So call straight away as soon as they respond. You don't need to get an understanding of, what services they're providing or whatever. That's the point of the cold SMS. It's just to get a reply. I can give you another example of another SMS that you can send that works really well. So you could be like, hey, this is Karen. We work with local contractors to keep their calendars full. Are you interested in, a free service right now where we don't charge you and you get to see real qualified leads coming into your business? Or, hey, this is Karen. Is this John from Roofing Construction Limited? Are you currently taking on more jobs at the moment? Or can you handle more jobs at the moment? As soon as they say yes, just give them a call, right? Call. It goes back to this. All you need to be doing is getting the first response. And I've seen a lot of people have, different messages that go here, and then if they respond and this and that, keep it simple. You just need to get a yes from them. If they don't respond, just move on. If they don't respond to the first message, the chances are that they're not going to respond to your next messages. So don't waste your time, is what I'm trying to say. The third most important system is, and this works so damn well. So these two, it goes in this order. This is almost free. This will cost you because you're going to be getting charged for sending SMS. And then the third one is ads. Oh, let me cross this out. Okay, it doesn't want to be deleted. So ads. So this is meta ads. So the same system that you're going to be using for your clients to get them leads, you can do the same thing for yourself. And this is something that a lot of people don't cover, right? Because they're trying to keep it a secret. If you have money to spend, this is going to be the most costly one for you, but it's going to be the one that gets you the most clients. So for example, what I like to do is I'll have one campaign, right? And by the way, if you guys don't know who I am, I've spent hundreds of thousands of pounds or hundreds of thousands of dollars on Facebook ads in the US markets, in the UK markets. I've done advertising for local businesses many years ago. I drifted off into crypto and generated millions of dollars for some of the businesses that I worked for in crypto when it comes to marketing. So I know a thing or two when it comes to meta ads. So, and I'm going through this super fast, but just, you can replay it or just watch it in slow motion if you want. So what you would do is one campaign. Within that campaign, let's say this one, I'm targeting the US, right? So this is for US leads only. What I would do is I would have between 8 image ads, so 8 image ads. And by the way, image ads are incredible. So image ads, 8 image ads, and I would have about 1 to 3 different video ads. Now these video ads can be quite simple. So it can be you holding your phone and just speaking to the camera and telling them about your services. If you're offering something for free and you're giving them like a risk-free offer, which is what I always suggest, you can just say that offer on your phone, like a selfie recording. You can use something called an app which is called teleprompter. And essentially, what it is if you're not good at speaking on the phone or recording yourself, you can actually write all of the script out, the entire script, and what you can do is add it onto your phone, and as you're recording, you can read off of that script. So that's something that's very helpful. So what you need to do is 8 image ads, 1 2 3 video ads, not 1 2 3. And all you need to do is the setup is very simple. Go broad. So because you're testing initially, go completely broad. And I'll tell you guys why. You're trying to understand who your ideal customers are. You don't know this. A lot of people will say do targeting, and yes, this can work. But again, right now you're just you're testing the waters. And I've done this, like I said, and I've gotten so many bookings from this. Right? I wouldn't suggest going the targeting route. I'll just stay broad. So you can get an understanding of who your customers are. Once you have that solid understanding of, if they're male, female, age, um, what sorts of ads they're clicking on, then what you can do is start doing targeted ads. So there's so many ways to do this. It will take me like hours to go through this. There's things called lookalike audiences, there's things called custom audiences, and there's little hacks that you can do. But again, I'm not going to get into that in this video, just because this is a quick idea for you guys. If you're starting out and you have no idea how to get your first client. So again, you go broad, create all the ads. When it comes to the placements, right, this is very important, and this is something that I see people get wrong. A lot of people would say to go with Advantage Plus. I don't do that. Although the Andromeda update is very good, I avoid the Advantage Plus. What I do is I will pick my placements. So what I mean by placements is you get Facebook Reels, Facebook Shorts, Facebook Reels, Facebook Stories, Instagram Stories, etc. The things that work really well: Facebook feeds, right? Without a doubt, one of the best ways to get leads, so you don't waste your budget. Feeds, Reels. This can be on Facebook or Instagram, and Stories, right? This is where you're going to be making your money from. If you're thinking about Messenger and the other stuff that's on there, just ignore them. This is what you should be using to advertise essentially and get yourself leads. And when it comes to the budget, what I like to set it at is £25 per day per campaign. So I'm running many different campaigns, so I'll do £25 per campaign, which is roughly about $35. Let me just write this out. $35. The reason why that is because then you're currently training your pixel, which is very important, and I'll get into that in just a second. You're training your pixel. As it picks up more data, then you can scale the budget for that campaign. And Facebook will pick itself which ads are doing the best, and it will start advertising those. Now, something that a lot of people miss, and this is so important, is something called a pixel. Now, I've been advertising for the longest time, more than most agency owners have been, right? Pixel is very important, and I'll tell you why. It collects all the data about your ideal customers. So whether if you're sending them to a landing page or they're clicking on an instant form, all this pixel is doing is collecting data. So that's so important, because over time your pixel will get better and better at picking and finding your ideal customer. And I know this is the longest one that I'm talking about. It's because it's the one that works the best, and not many people tell you this. So make sure you have your pixel set up. There's a bunch of videos that you can watch on how to set up your pixel. If you've got a landing page, you need to make sure that it's in the landing page, and you have some automations that are firing when someone fills out a form or a survey, for example. You'll find it out just watch Go High Level integrations for Pixel on YouTube, and there's so many guides out there. Right, so that's the pixel, which is very important. Now, the next thing that you need to be worrying about is where you want to take them, the lead. Do you want to take them to a landing page, right? Or do you want to take them to an instant form? Let me just write this out. So instant form. What I would suggest is start with the instant form. The reason why is because there's way less friction. If you're starting out, you want to be getting on as many calls as possible. So as soon as someone fills this instant form out, what you need to do is just give them a call, right? And you want to have as less friction as possible in the instant form. The reason why is so that they can just fill it out and you can contact them straight away. So things that I would ask is, are you able to invest 1 to 3K in ads, right? Just because that's a filter question is so important. You'll get time wasters that want things for free. You don't want to be doing that. You want them to have some sort of a marketing budget, because although you're offering your services for free, you're not going to be spending your own budget on ads. You can do that if you have the budget, but I wouldn't recommend that. So instant forms, make sure you ask them, have they got a marketing budget between 1 to 3K, or it could be a list, which is what I've done. Then you can ask them what sort of services they're looking for. So if you're going general home improvement, right, you can ask them, are you doing flooring, roofing, doors, windows, whatever, right? You just ask them, and then you'll understand what they're doing. So when you get on a call with them, you'll know. The next thing is just getting their information, right? How quickly they want to start is another good one. And you want to get their information, so their phone number, their email address, and that's it. Once you have that, give them a call and just try to get them on a secondary call, which is essentially the discovery call. Let them know that they need to be on a laptop or a computer. That's very important. Otherwise, they won't be able to see the stuff you have. Now, after you've got them on the discovery call, what you need to do is that you have a sort of presentation. You don't want to keep it boring, but make sure you have a presentation, right? Because then you can walk through the steps, and keep the presentation to about 4 slides. And at the end of the slide, have your pricing or your offer. If you're working for free, let them know, but they will ask for what are your prices afterwards, and you can have another slide with your actual pricing. Another thing, this is just the golden gem, golden nugget that I'm dropping here. Don't work for free, right? And here's why. If you're going to work for free, you're not going to make anything. So, if you are going to work for free, why not make something at the minimum, right? So what I would suggest, even going as little as, $100 to $200, right? For for that first month, or for those first 2 weeks, right? $100 to $200. That way you're at least covering some of your expenses for Go High Level, etc. And then once you've given them results, then you can start charging your actual prices. And that's where the big money is going to be made. So your clients get to see results, right? And you get to make money. So you get to make money, and then you give them results, and they'll give you money. That's a really bad dollar sign, but you get what I'm saying. So you just keep rinsing and repeating your services, and every few weeks, just make sure to keep track of what you're delivering, and hopefully they stay with you long term. I'm going to cover a lot in the next few videos, guys, that will go into detailed videos about every single one of these and how you can execute them at the highest standard. Now, if I was to choose the best one for me, in terms of spending little money cold calling, just because I can book in so many people with the way that I speak to them. The second one is ads, and this is undefeated, right? This is undefeated. You're going to be spending a lot, but like I said, you could be getting a lot. So you could get 3 booked calls, you could get 10 booked calls. It just ranges. But the idea is that if you're doing this for your clients, do it for yourself. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. I know this was not too much of a detailed video, but like I said, I'm just giving you an overview. And as we build this channel up, and as I start to get more subscribers, I'll start to get into further detail about how to really build your lead generation agency. So if you like what I showed here, make sure to go down there, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and if you want to share it with your friends, I mean, why not? So I appreciate you and have a nice day.